Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin agreed to step up efforts to prevent any military action against Syria. In a telephone conversation, the two presidents stressed that any use of military force against another country without a UN mandate is a blatant violation of international law. Putin and Rouhani agreed that any use of chemical weapons is unacceptable and emphasized that the Syrian crisis must be resolved only through diplomatic means. Meanwhile, the commander of Iran's Islamic Revolution Guards Corps, Mohammad Ali Jafari, is warning that the U.S. will face another Vietnam if it attacks Syria. The commander said America's new warmongering will cost the demolition of Israel. Jafari's remarks were echoed by Chairman of Iran's Joint Chiefs of Staff, Hassan Firuzabadi, who said any military action against Syria would burn Israel in flames. Dr. Webster Tarpley is an author and historian. With me now on the line from Washington. Let's get his thoughts. Now, Mr. Tarpley, what we're hearing very recently just now is President Barack Obama saying that though the United States has still not decided that it's going to strike, it has, quote, concluded that the Syrian government used chemical weapons and that even if it doesn't have the UN mandate or the support of its allies, it is willing to strike. And on the other hand, Iran and Russia are saying that would be in violation of international law. But what do you think has made the United States so adamant that it is saying that even without the UN approval, it's going to carry out the attack?
I think there was a moment of great fear in the State Department when they realized that they had no influence on what was happening in Egypt, which they did not like. And therefore, they had a panic, and they've decided now to try to take it out on Syria, which has been one of their favorite themes. I think, however, the real news is that this coalition is falling apart. There's a very significant backlash and pushback against this war. We have, for example, a member of the German government saying that no German armed forces will be involved in this adventure. The Italian government says none of their forces and none of their bases will be used for the adventure. Jordan, at least verbally, says that they will not allow their territory to be used for these attacks. The Austrian government says there will be no overflights. They've denied the use of their airspace to NATO, and they've also condemned the idea of action without the UN Security Council. You've also got that in France, Monsieur Hollande is weak enough so that he's got to call his parliament back on the 4th of September. Now, that's Wednesday of next week, so there's a significant delay which has come in. Now, Secretary Kerry was on the phone with Ban Ki-moon of the United Nations trying to abort and terminate the mission of the inspectors in Syria, and Ban Ki-moon has rebuffed him. He told him no.
And Dr. Tarpley, sorry for jumping in here, just very quickly. Just very quickly before we run out of time, the issue of chemical weapons, the UN's role in here, the United States' role in here. A lot of people are saying if the US has, quote, concluded that chemical weapons have been used by the Syrian government, it is sure about it, why isn't it giving proof or evidence? Do you think that the US doesn't have that evidence?
The proof comes from the Israelis. The so-called intercepts of the Syrian military cable traffic is things made up by the Mossad and the IDF. The big problem for Obama right now is that the British government, Cameron, his great friend, they have been blocked by the Labour Party. They will not get their vote tomorrow. Their vote also goes to next week. And here inside the United States, I must say, the Republicans, Fox News, as well as certain leftists, Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, there's a backlash emerging there also against this war. The American people, of course, horrified by this, sick of war, looking for a way out. So it looks to me like there's a very, very broad and robust pattern of the world saying no to this act of senseless aggression. And I think Obama is in an increasingly weak position. It can be stopped.
Yes. Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian, with us there on the line from Washington. Thank you very much.